And we're live. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. Welcome to the Plodalong catch up. Even though there's currently
Book edition.
Yeah, book edition. We give people a couple of minutes to turn up if they want to.
Return of the Plodalong.
Make sure you say hi in the comments if you're here, so we can see
you. Yes. We can talk about how rubbish the booker is.
I'll introduce my lovely crew, even though all of you can see their names on the thing, and also you all know them. And if you don't know them, know what's going on. To my this side is Alice, and then down here, so Alice from Alice and Giant Bookshop, and then down here is Jem from Gemma Books. So, yay! Welcome back, ladies.
It's nice to be back.
Yeah.
Yay. Now we've got people turning up, so shall I dive right into the comments?
After a summer of not reading a long list.
Yeah. That's crazy. How are you all feeling what are you watching? How are you doing? Let us know. I'm gonna sweep to some comments. We've got Charlie, of course. Well, looky here, the video you all said would never happen.
Well, that's not actually true, is it? We did say that this probably would happen, but we just said we wouldn't be doing a full-on booker.
Yeah,
exactly. Just one, just an honorary.
We said maybe for one night and one night only.
Yeah, we missed you all. We missed everyone.
Yeah.
Always. We've got the lovely Kate. Hi, Kate. We've missed you as well. Hi, Kate.
Hi, Kate.
And Anne. Hi, Anne.
Hi, Anne.
Good afternoon for you. Are you in America, are you? Because that must be afternoon in America, because it's evening for us, isn't it? That's correct. Longer afternoon.
Carly doesn't know what day it is, what time it is.
That's why you can tell we're back. And we got Kieran. Oi, oi, oi. If you're ignoring the long list, then you're doing things correctly.
I wish I'd ignored more of it.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Salty.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. We've got Kieran, obviously plugging the plec. And Charlotte, the lovely Charlotte. So, shall we go through? I'm going to go through the books in alphabetical order, and obviously I'll keep up to date with the comments as we go as well. But you can say if you've read it, what your thoughts or your first impressions of it are, whether you want to read it. I know Alice has got some thoughts on the whole list in general. Start with that now, Alice. Do you want to start with you with how are you feeling about? I'll ask you general thoughts now. How are you both feeling about the list? And whether you want to join in.
I'll let the Grinch go first.
Okay, we'll go for Alice first.
I'm still not joining in. I haven't caved.
Holding it strong, the anti-book
is
strong.
It's mainly because I've got too much else on.
Yes. We'll give her it. There is
a book that I probably would cave for if I had any time whatsoever, but I don't. So
that in a minute, because I don't think we know which one. Me and Jem know which one this is. So Jem, what are your thoughts overall, general?
Well, when the long list was first announced, I was quite excited because there's loads of new books on there, and I was like, oh, all these new authors to discover. And then I don't know, maybe this is a bit harsh because I've only DNF 2 and I've read 2.
And we'll get to those.
And that's like a 50% success rate, which is not very good. And I just kind of wish I hadn't even bothered trying.
I have felt like that at a certain point, other than obviously I started quite high for me. So well, again, I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I've currently read 6 and I'm reading 2 more. So but again, those ones we'll talk about all those as we get to them. So yeah, I'm okay. I'm feeling kind of middling about this. I've got mixed thoughts, but I have got some hope. I feel like maybe there's got to be some hope. I'll be the voice of hope and the voice of, I'm still going to keep going. So yeah,
I do feel like the women's prize on list was significantly better.
I think that's fair to say. Actually, I think I would agree with you on that. Actually. And
and I'm just the voice of everybody who has not got time to participate in this and has taken on too much other stuff.
So I'll head to some comments. We've got the lovely Sarah. Hi, Sarah.
Sarah.
Watching and cooking dinner. Oh, we're so pleased you joined us. Anne. I know it's afternoon, but don't ask me the date. Well, you're ahead of me. So. All right, here we go. Charlie, oh my lord, I also DNF 2, Red 2, Gem and I are in sync. What's going to happen to the world?
I wonder if we'll DNF the same ones though, Charlie.
Oh, you'll find out. Charlie, I'm sure, will say which ones. Booker really effed up on really for that to happen. Yeah. And the lovely Anne said, I've read this other Eden and I have the bee stick. So, ooh, yes.
What did you think, Anne, of this other Eden?
Let us know. Yeah, let us know in the comments below. Let us know any books that you guys have read from the book. Let us know your thoughts. We're going to be going through them from alphabetical order in a second, starting now. Actually, we'll start with A Spell of Good Things. A Spell of Good Things by Ayobami Adebayo. Has any of you guys read this one? I mean, I know this is going to be majority of most of us going. No, we haven't read it.
No, but it's my next one to read.
I was going to say, I feel like this might be on Gem's shelf.
I don't actually own it, but I do have the Libby ready to go. I've got like 16 days left to return, so that is my next one.
I'm a little bit with this one. My thoughts on this is that I'm a little bit kind of not scared, but apprehensive to read this because I tried to start it. I've only literally tried to read like a couple of pages of this on my BorrowBox app on my phone, which is never the best way for me to read it. And I just couldn't get into it. So I'm kind of hoping, I was like, I'm going to buy the physical copy and try this. So.
Yeah. I feel like it's potentially the most me book on the list.
This one.
Could be. I feel like when the list came out, this was the one that I'd heard of.
Yeah. This was one,
predominantly because I think one or both of you predicted it for the Women's Prize.
Yeah, I think. Well, me and Charlie did.
I know you did. You and Charlie did, yeah.
Did you, Jem?
Charlie, prediction.
That was like in February.
I think you may have done as well, actually. I think you did as well.
I can't remember what happened to dinner last night. Jeez.
So yeah, let us know.
I know it was on my radar from the Women's Prize.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments below. Have any of you guys read A Spell of Good Things? Let us know what your thoughts on them are. Ooh, so we've got another commenter. Hey all, I've read Pearl. Reading Old's Got Time. Have a spell of good things to read later. Ooh, tell us your thoughts on all of those.
Cool.
Wait, read 3 because I forgot all about Western Lane, which gives you my opinion of that book. Yes. So read House of Doors, Old God's Time, DNF Pearl, and How to Build a Boat. I've got this one. I've read How to. Sorry, Jen, you need to sit up higher. I feel like we're shrinking.
Peer over the comments, please.
Yeah, we need to do that. I've read How to Build a Boat, and I really liked it. I've got A Spell of Good Things, and from the library, If I Survive You, and this other Eden have just come in. So cross fingers that you will enjoy those.
Cool.
So yeah, the next one on the list, which I think I know, Jem, for you, this one obviously. So Old God's Time by Sebastian Barry.
I DNF'd it.
Alice, what are your? Because I feel like this is quite an Alice book actually. On paper, this is like seemingly quite an Alice book because of the whole crime thing. Obviously,
yeah. I had heard of it, but literally my knowledge of it was I'd seen it on a shelf in a bookshop. I had like this vivid image in my mind of what it looked like. I don't like. In some ways, it reads like it's going to be an Alice book, but I think it's one of those deceptive books where it says lots of my buzzwords like police officer, old case, etc. And then I think it's actually not about that.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah. I think it's all about like sadness and grief and all sorts of stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking it's a me book, but I don't know. It's one that if I came across it later and I still wanted to think about it, I might pick it up. It's like very vague, that one to me.
I actually don't think it's a you, but you don't. Do you? Obviously, you've DNF'd it, Jem, so you probably don't think it's a. Do you think it's an Alice book?
No, I think, like you say, like the premise on paper, I think is Alice, but I think the writing is just overly waffly.
See, this is one I've read, and I actually enjoyed it. I say enjoyed it because I didn't enjoy it because it's very, very brutal in places, and actually, I feel like I'm sorry, I'm shouting. Actually, in places, I feel like sometimes it was overly, unnecessarily brutal. It's more towards the latter end of the book. And actually, it took me about a third of the way in to get into this book. So
and that's why I DNF'd it.
Yeah.
Like the past case, is to do with child abuse.
Yeah, the latter. Yeah, and it's just very, very. Oh, just no. But I feel like it surprised me in the sense of I enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting to like his writing, if you know what I mean. So it's his writing. I feel like I could go back to his writing potentially. And the last section, especially, I feel like by the last section, I was really invested in the lead character. Having kind of felt kind of middling about the whole book as a whole, but the last bit I was like, it unveils more about his family, and yeah, I was really like, oh, you know what I mean, that kind of feeling. If you know what I mean. But yeah, I don't know.
I think it didn't help that I was reading this like in the middle of a reading slump.
Yeah, I don't think it's one of the and
I just when it takes like over a third of the book and you're still not giving a crap. I was like, no, you're dead to me. So.
Yeah, I can see that. It's and the writing's quite descriptive, and it's very slow, especially like I said at the beginning. So I think I can see it's really not, as I can see Charlie said in the comments, I can see it's not really a gem book anyway.
I feel like it might be a book that I would enjoy if I was like really in the mood for that type of a book.
Possibly, yeah.
But I would have to be like really, really in the mood.
I would definitely think you should try his writing, though, Alice. I don't know whether about this book specifically, but I would definitely think you might like his writing. Should we go to the comments for quickly before we go on to the next book? Oh no, we've got sorry. What did Sarah say about this? Oh yeah, that's right. We've read this one. We've done that one. It's the Old God's Time. I knew it wouldn't be a gem book. Yeah, quite right. Old God's Time was almost like if you took Treacle Walker from last year and blended it with small things. I can see what you're saying, because of the kind of the lyrical kind of writing kind of thing. Oh, look, it's Gareth. Hey, Gareth.
Oh, hi, Gareth.
That's lovely, Gareth. When we went to London, Gareth is so lovely. Hi, just wanted to say hello before we're doing a Zoom call with my students. Oh, I hope you good luck with your Zoom call with your students, Gareth. Yeah, let us know if you've read Old God's Time in the comments below. I quite fancy The Bee Sting and The House of Doors, Old God's Time and How to Build a Boat. Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoyed them. I say enjoy, especially with the Old God's Time trigger warnings. So, yeah. And we've got, look, can you say hi to my kids? We'll all say hi to Faye and Guy.
Hi, Faye and Guy.
Hi, guys.
I hope you're helping your mum with the cooking.
Yeah, be good. Eat your dinner.
All the vegetables.
Yes. And she's a doctor, so she knows what she's doing. The sneaking.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the next one on my list is actually one I've got from the library. Study for Obedience, and this is one I finished this morning.
Oh,
Literally sat down. I mean, obviously, I have got big hands. I'm a tall person, but it's a very small book. It's like my hand is bigger than the book.
Ooh.
So yeah, and it's only very short. It's only like 185 pages, and yeah, I'm going to say I enjoyed it.
Oh, good.
That is interesting because both Eric and Jen Campbell really didn't like it, did they?
Yep. I couldn't believe it. I honestly thought this was going to be one I hated, and I don't really know why I liked it because it's basically plotless, largely. The character's not super likable. It's not a fast-paced book, and yeah, so on paper, I really don't know why I liked it, but I really did. I could not stop reading it, and yeah, something about it kind of. I think I like the writing style. I think I like the writing style, which is really weird because I don't understand why. So yeah, I don't know what happened, but yeah, this is like one of my favorites. So
wow.
So you guys, what's your guys' thoughts on this one? Or impression?
Well, like you, Charlie, obviously I haven't read it, but I like on paper I am really, really drawn to it, and I don't know why. I have no idea. It has none of the buzzwords that I look for in a book, but just when they announced it, I was like, oh, I'm really, really drawn to that book for some reason. But obviously I have resisted.
Yeah. I wasn't actually drawn to it. This was the one out of the list. You guys, if you would have seen my like predictions, this was one that was bottom of my list. I think Sophie McIntosh had blurbed it, so I was like, definitely no offense. So I was just like, I just kept on calling it Dead Bird Book because.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, Jem. So Jem, what do you? Let me know.
I think I probably will attempt it. It's one that I can read for shortly September. And also, I don't know if you saw, but Margaret Pennard is doing Scottember, reading Scottish books, and Sarah Bernstein is a Canadian author living in Scotland, I believe. So I probably will attempt it in September, but I haven't got the highest hopes.
I don't think this is a you book, actually. I don't think this is a you book. But I mean, you might like it.
Props won't.
When Charlie said plotless, I was thinking, no, Gemma won't
Plotless
like
and unlikable characters. I was like,
I don't think she just doesn't. She's almost like she's not a main character of the story. It's her book, obviously. It's her, like, she's telling the story, but it's like she's telling it from. Yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, she's just like, yeah, it's hard to describe, but yeah, it's kind of like.
Sounds a bit Cursed Breadish. I'm surprised you liked it.
I don't know what it was. Yeah, and it's like she's making these observations of everything that's sort of going on around her, and she even says, like, I've got notes beside me, like over there. Even though I literally only read it this morning, my brain is all fuzzled. Yeah, it says like, I've got the wrong bloody book. Where is it? I've got the notes for the wrong book. Nope, I've got too many bits of paper around here. But yeah, just I think I said it was just like she's not even a main character of her own story, and she's kind of very passive. That's a word I would use to describe her. She's very passive.
You're still not selling it to me, mate.
Yeah, Jem won't like that.
Actually, I think you're making it worse.
So yeah,
but I am intrigued now that you've liked it. I'm intrigued.
It surprised me. It really did.
What we disagree on.
It's really, really weird. Yeah, no, I don't know. I love it. I literally love it. So yeah, I don't know how. I think maybe I'm sick. That's probably what's happening. I'm getting ill. So I'll go to the comments again. Yeah, sometimes the author's voice is everything. And I actually think that's what it is, which is really weird because I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right, Gareth. Oh, yay! We got the lovely Brian.
Oh, we love Brian.
Brian.
But no, you're not late. You're never late. Don't worry. Probs won't be a. Yeah.
With just Gem's unimpressed face. Probs won't.
Like, yeah, that's what we need on t-shirts. Gem's unimpressed face on t-shirts. That's what everyone wants.
No one wants that.
That was like pizza emojis all around.
Holding a big pineapple.
And also, actually, shall we say about that? I've got this on my phone. Thanks to Kieran, if you're still here, watch it. And Kieran timestamped a moment.
Gem.
Do you guys want to see what happened?
Away in mayhem.
Yeah. So you guys, when we went to London, I don't know if any of you guys would know, we went to London, then we did a little meet up with some loads of booktubers, and we were having lunch. And something happened. If I can try and show you, I don't know if you'll be able to see. I'll try and full screen it.
Oh, Sarah's actually requesting in the comments that we discuss this.
Yes. So I'm going to try it. Oh, we go. So I'll press play, and you can watch what happened real time. So can you see? Can you hear it? I have to turn the volume up. Here we go. So Jem, it's Jack. What is wrong with Jack? What is wrong with Jem's pizza? Okay, I'll zoom in. What has just happened? I put lime on my pizza. She's been slagging off people who put pineapple on pizza, and she's just put lime all over it. Revelations.
Right, okay, let's just address this.
I think you need to explain yourself, Jem.
Lemon and lime is like a subcategory of fruit. And if you squeeze it, it's like the flavour, not the fruit.
It's a seasoning. It's fine.
Yes, Alice, it is a seasoning.
Listen, but you've been slagging off. You've been slagging off fruits on pizza. Can you ethically?
Well,
I'm going to do the voice
pineapple and figs.
And some other things as well, but yeah.
Well, yeah, to be fair, but actually, yeah, any other fruit would be a bit rubbish.
And there was a discussion about corn, but I don't know if we mentioned that.
Oh, yeah, we're not. Topics. But yeah, lime is in a different category. It's in the flavour category, not the disgusting fruit that should never go on a savoury meal category.
I feel like, so everyone in the comments, So do you think she's right? Is lime acceptable on a pizza? Let us know in the comments. Or do you think that we need to sort of think of some sort of
I wasn't present at this controversial moment, but had I been present, I would have been on Gem's side, because that is not the same as pineapple on pizza.
Hashtag lime is not a fruit.
But I would put lime on tacos. I would put lemon on fish. It's all good.
Yeah.
Does it count? Tell us in the comments below. Should she sort of have some sort of forfeit for next Plodalong, for next year's Plodalong in February? I'm going to say
like Gem covered her pizza in slices of lime and then consumed it, is it?
For when we do the next Plodalong 2024, Plodalong 2024, if you guys say enough of you think that she should do some sort of like forfeit, let's say in the comments and we'll try and sort something out.
This is not agreed.
I've just remembered what Gem never even heard about.
You know what? When we first started this, Charlie was like, "Oh, we can't be mean to people on the plots," and now look what's happened. We turned her into a monster.
It's too much time with you guys. This is what's happened. It's too much time with you both.
It's also reminded me that in the previous final plod, after Gem had gone, there was talk of making a demon pizza that would have all your hated toppings on it, Gem, for you to have.
Whoa, that would be. See, she's writing it herself. She thinks she's all the thing. She's writing it herself. That could be the punishment. Tell us in the comments what can be the punishment. If you want that, if you don't want it, it's fine. I'm going to go up to some of the questions.
There is no punishment for lime. Lime is fine.
Agree.
Well, we'll have to see what the plodders say. Plodders, you get to decide whether she should indeed face a penalty. She should face some sort of retribution. Let us know in the comments below. We'll sort it out for next year's 2024. So we've got Don't Sleep on Study for Obedience. Did you like it? I can't remember if I've watched because I don't know if I would have watched it because I've only just read the book, so I don't know if is there a review. I don't know. Have to see. Then we've got Gareth. Oh, you just reminded me that I want to put Shorty September in mind for next month too. Yes.
We love Shorty September.
What is the pod of a book? Oh, that's a good question.
Tell us, Kieran. What is it?
Yeah, what do you think it is? I've got a thought of what I think it is.
I don't know. I haven't read enough to say yet.
For me, there's one. But we'll get to that in a bit. Right. I don't know, maybe it's not as bad as pod, to be fair. Maybe I'm being harsh, but I was just so sleepy with it. I mean, what's the, can we discuss lime and pizza? Yes. Sorry. After all this time, still the pizza. You use lime as you would go around pouring pineapple juice on.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, exactly, Charlie.
You know it's bad when Charlie's on your side. To be fair.
Yes.
I love pizza on pineapple pizzas. Not keen on lime on anything.
Well, see, now this just like defends my argument because pineapple pizza people are like a different species to like normal people.
Can you say that? She's saying it.
I just did. So I feel like that's actually like backed up my argument.
No, it hasn't. It hasn't at all.
Well, like you either like pineapple on pizza or you like lime on things.
Yeah, like a normal person or a not normal.
So it says so Brian says the lime thing depends on the other toppings. Confess what the other toppings were. Go on, tell us.
It was like a pulled pork, chipotle, like Mexican thing.
Meaty. It was meaty.
Like a taco. So you would put lime on a taco.
Exactly. It was delicious.
Well, I'm against it just because I have to. So your mum obviously is on your side. Alice's mum is clearly saying lime is fine. I was hoping she'd try.
She was hoping you'd try artichoke and olives.
There you go. There's the face again. Screenshot, people. Screenshot. Then we've got maybe there should be a competition for the wildest, craziest pizza topping combo, and yes. So right. So now we're going to head to the next bit to discuss. We've got If I Survive You by Jonathan S. Goffrey. Have any of you got thoughts on that, either of you?
No.
Okay.
I haven't read it yet. I am quite looking forward to it, though. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
maybe, but it's like short stories, isn't it?
but it's not really. It is more of a not. It is and it isn't. I feel like it's more of a. It is more of a.
I think it's interesting to see something included that could be thought of as a collection of short stories or has been marketed as a collection of short stories. It's almost like the controversial thing of the list, like we had
the homesick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, that's good. That's a good. Shout.
But also, this was one of the only ones I'd heard of, and I think I heard of it on the long list for the BookTube Prize ages ago, back in January. I'm sure it was on there because I remember looking up the blurb and it didn't get through to the actual rounds, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, this was one This is one I'd had saved on Scribd a while ago. It was one of the first ones I'd read out, like, after the list was announced.
Wait, is it on Scribd?
It's on Scribd. It is on Scribd.
Really?
And I should tell you all the other ones that are on Scribd as well, shouldn't I? Yeah, I read it, and it is actually quite high on the top of near my list of, like, it's quite high up for me, but that doesn't really speak well for what in terms of what I have actually read. I did like it. I did actually like it. But I can't really remember loads about it, which is never a good sign, really, is it? I liked it when I read it. I thought that it was making some interesting commentary about identity, and obviously, like, it's sort of like set in an area where there are hurricanes. There is a moment that stands out in my mind. I don't want to spoil anything. It's not really a spoiler. Is it really a spoiler? I'm going to say about the dog. I don't know. Yeah, a dog dies, FYI. And I didn't really like that, but it's not really a big plot point. But yeah, no, it's a good book. This is a good book. This is high up for me. It's kind of average-y, but just sort of from the maybe just above average sort of thing. Yeah.
And does it work as like a one complete narrative? Would you say?
I think so. Yeah, I would say I think so. But I don't because so I was listening to the audiobook of this. One thing I would comment is probably maybe the best thing is to read it in physically, having just said that it's on Scribd on audiobook. Because the chapters are like an hour long, and you have to really, for an audiobook chapter to be that long, you have to really be paying attention. And sometimes I found like some of the stories I was clicking with and I was in it a little bit more, like some of the chapters or whatever, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
And then other times my mind wandered and I was not as invested. So I don't think the audiobook is the way to go. I think it's definitely the physical, really.
But the stories were well connected.
I think it sort of, it did work, I think. But yeah, I'm not sure how memorable it is. Like I said, we'll see what happens. You guys, let us know. Have any of you guys read If I Survive You? Let us know in the comments below. If so, what did you listen to the audiobook? Did you read it physically? Let us know. Next one on the list before I go to the comments is where are we? How to Build a Boat by Elaine Feeney.
Haven't read it yet, but I actually think I'm going to quite like that one. I know a lot of people and. It's quite a Marmite book from what I've seen, but I think I'll quite like it. Even though it sounds like quite a happy book, which isn't usually my jam. But
I don't think it sounds very happy at all. I think it sounds like a Jenny book.
Even more. Double.
Have you read that one yet, Charlie?
I have not, but Charlie. This is one of the ones Charlie, well, I'm sure Charlie, if you're here, will say in the comments, he DNF'd it. I think he's DNF'd it. You might go back to it.
That's even better for me.
Yeah. And he said some of the things he said about it make me a little bit cautious because it's sort of like talking about a character that's seemingly neurodivergent. And I think the author has a neurodivergent child, I believe. And sometimes that makes me feel a little bit icky in terms of when you're reading it. It doesn't always work. The representation might not always work. We will see. I don't know. So we will see. I'm open-minded. Yeah, this was one before Charlie today had said about it. Was one I was excited for. So we will see. The first line's amazing. Me and Charlie have done tomorrow morning. You guys, if you tune in tomorrow morning on my channel, we've got a video that's going up. We filmed it. It's a first line battle, aka Lauren and the Booker style. Lauren and the Books style.
Oh,
and
cool.
Yeah, and so we battled out all the books. And actually, this one, if the How to Build a Boat has a really great first line. So, yeah. So I'm going to go to the comments and see what everyone's saying. Right, we've got Sarah. Yes, strong. Yes, when Faye about the lemon pizza.
Yes, Faye.
Guy says she should bring. Should eat all the
food.
Lime brings out the flavors in food, but it feels like a U-turn on fruit. Yes, Sarah, quite right.
It's not a U-turn, Sarah. And I think Guy also for that comment should have to do all of the washing up.
Oh no, we don't advocate that.
And the drying up.
Guy is little though. I don't think no.
It's never too young to start on household chores.
We'll see. Gem's got him in the kitchen. Poor little Charlie. Different species, haha. That's what they say about drummers. We've got then the line is fine. Line on a Mexican food is great. Okay.
It is.
Didn't Kieran make a video about If I Survive You? Yes, he did. A dance video.
Video? What?
Yes,
how have I missed that?
I haven't seen this yet.
I have seen it. It's if I remember, I'll link it in the description. I probably won't remember, but we'll see. I meant line, but yes, I guess that's what I know. I tried yesterday. Made it 30 pages in. Felt like it was a book about a neurodivergent child made to make neurotypical people feel better, which does make me give me the ick. So we will see.
Yeah,
I have heard though that it's not just about that child, because the blurb makes it sound to me like it's all about that child. But reviews I've seen have made it sound like there's actually two other kind of main characters as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to be open-minded. You never know. Yeah. I do obviously trust what Charlie says, though, because he's my BFF person. One of my best friends. Gregor, supposedly fun. Enjoyed If I Survive You. It's internet. Yes. I did think it was really, really good. But it was, as it's one of the first ones I've read, it's one of those things that, like, as we found with the Women's Prize, some books sort of stay in, like, some books rise up and some books sort of drop away. And I feel like that could be one that drops away a little bit. At the moment, it's still top of my pack, having only read 6, but well, not top of my pack, but now middle of my pack. Other folk have entirely different experiences when reading it. I wondered if Jem might like this because it feels a bit contemporary and a bit with the literary event. Yeah.
I think it might.
It's about 3 main characters and 2 of his school teachers and of their lives. Well, that's me. Oh, you've read it. You finished it. Oh, yeah. There you go.
That bodes well.
There you go. Yeah, Sarah. I have got quite a similar taste to Sarah in books actually. So We'll see. Right. So we talk about the next bit before I go back to any more comments. This is one. This is one I'm not so. Take Sarah's comment off. Sorry. This is one I'm not so sure about, to be honest. This Other Eden by Paul Harding. Alice, do you want to say your thoughts on that?
I don't think I have any.
Okay. Jem?
Yeah.
It's not one that draws me in.
Yeah.
I know Scott hated it. And I know that one of the reasons that Scott hated it was because it was agriculturally incorrect, to do with like the way that you graft apples. And that will really wind me up. So
that's a really specific piece of criticism.
For those of you listening that don't know, Jem works in agriculture. I feel like we need to point that out.
Yeah, so that's something that will just really annoy me if I'm reading it. Also, isn't this like a white guy writing this? And I kind of think for this sort of story, I'd rather hear it from an author of colour.
Yeah. I
think there are plenty of exceptional authors of colour out there writing stories like this, and I'd rather read those. Just my personal opinion. Yeah. But it might be great, but it's at the bottom of my list.
It was like, so with this one, I feel like it's gone on a little bit of a journey for me, because first of all, when I first impressions of this, I was like snooze based upon the premise, and a kind of the cover as well. The cover doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Then I watched the lovely Peter from Comfy Cozy Up, whose reviews I trust and also have similar taste to. she's amazing. I love her. And she enjoyed it. I think she said to have some criticisms of the book, I have to say. But overall, I think she thought it was a good, strong book. So that made me...
Actually, I think I watched her review as well. And that's what sort of twigged about it being a white author for me.
Yeah, exactly. And so I was intrigued after that. But then me and Charlie again did the first line. And this first line went on for 10,000 fucking years. I'm not joking. It was like a really long ass sentence. And I feel like if the whole book is like that first line, this is the book that is currently bottom of my pile. So, yeah.
Agree.
So let us know your thoughts. If you've read this other Eden, it's historical fiction. Let us know if you're interested in it. If you've read it, all of that stuff. I'll go to some comments. I think there's some Charlie comments. There's a scrambled egg metaphor with a woman who can't have children that felt a bit messy. Oh, this is the Elaine Feeney one again. Where is Kieran? I'm pretty sure the Plep group went on about grafting of apples too. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved this other Eden. Thank you, Anne. We want to hear from you. I'm now thinking Tinkers. You want to read Tinkers? Yeah, because that was a Pulitzer one, wasn't it, Jem?
Yes, it was. And actually, I watched a video from Shelley who said basically she'd rather read Tinkers. And I think I feel the same. I think I'd rather just read that.
Me too, actually. I think me too. I've been told Harding is the only author to win the Pulitzer and nominated for the Booker. That's interesting. Thank you, Anne, for telling us that.
True.
Charlie bringing the heat on this other Eden.
What about Hernan Diaz? Because he's just won the Pulitzer jointly.
He hasn't been nominated for the Booker, has he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah. That's how we all found out about Trust.
That's how last year I fell asleep. Well, not fell asleep to it, but you know what I mean. Trust was definitely not me, a Charlie book.
Just saying.
Sorry.
Just saying.
And Jem and Alice has got to read that for
I've got to read it for the BookTube prize.
So you'll be having to tune into Alice's channel to find out when
also, has Barbara Kingsolver never been nominated for the Booker?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. If anyone knows if Barbara Kingsolver has been nominated for the Booker, I'm sure your mum will probably know that, Alice.
I think I heard that she hadn't. Yeah,
so there you go. Let us know. So we go to the next book on the list, which is Pearl. Oh, I got thoughts about this one. By Sian Hughes. Anyone got thoughts? Please tell us. And actually, Jem, you've read this book, so you can say all your thoughts.
I have. It's one of the two that I have read. I enjoyed it when I was reading it. I thought it had like a nice lilt to it that I listened to it on audio, so I was quite happy to pick it up, and it was quite easy reading. However, I finished it 2 weeks ago, and it's really fading.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it when I was reading it, but it's going to be one of those books that if you ask me if I've read it in 3 years' time, I'll probably not remember. So
yeah. So for me, the covers, I think we can all agree the cover's beautiful. Well, I don't know whether we can agree. The cover is beautiful. I thought
lovely cover.
It's a beautiful cover. This was probably top of my cover list.
I did love the cover,
and I loved the premise. This is like almost the exact opposite of Study for Obedience for me, because I thought I was going to love this book. On paper, everything about it I should love. It's got the author's a poet. I love reading books written by poets. God, that took a long time to get that sentence out. But yeah, I think it started I started it and I was like, yeah, this is okay. I think I messaged Jem actually. I was like, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. And the further I progressed, I was like, yeah, it's okay. And then almost that okayness started to grate on me massively, to the point by the end I was just like, oh, just get this done. You know what I mean? And it's actually the bottom of, in terms of ranking out of the ones. Yes, but just no.
I think it's one of those books where it really depends what mood you're in when you're reading it. If I could have read it at another time and probably had the same opinion as you, but yeah.
What did you think of the narrator? What did you think of the narrator? Because this is an audiobook for me. So what did you think of the narrator?
I thought she was fine.
I think maybe that was the problem for me, because that's quite a personal thing, isn't it? So
yeah, I have an issue with another narrator when we get to another book.
Oh, I'm excited to hear that.
Charlie, was this the one you said was more boring than boring bread?
Yes, that's true. Well remembered. I found it more boring than boring bread. I would probably go back and read all of Sophie McIntosh. I'd rather go back and read all of Sophie McIntosh's previous 2 books than have to read Pearl again. That is how I feel.
That's a strong opinion.
Yes,
Strong
that's how I felt. Sorry. Sorry if you love Pearl. Lots of people love Pearl, so I'm sorry if you love Pearl, but you can love it. I'm going to go to the comments.
I do think it was interesting that the publisher put Pearlford and not Reamble, though. Reamble's had.
Reamble is miles better. Reambles is like, you can't even touch Reamble compared to this.
But Reamble made you throw it across the room, didn't it?
No, that was just the last page because they did something at the end that I didn't like.
You hated the ending.
There's a trope that happens in books, which I can't spoil, obviously. It's something that happens in books that I hate. If you want to message me, I will tell you. If you don't care about spoilers, but yeah, or I'll tell you guys later. But yeah, it made me throw it across the room. It's not really that offensive. It's just it annoyed me, and it made me So, but the actual writing, the whole book is a 5-star book, except for that page, which gave it So yeah, let's have a look at the comments and see what everyone is saying. Tell us if you read Pearl. Let us know your thoughts about Pearl, people. Look, Pearl is written by a poet from Cheshire. I should be championing this book, but I thought it was overwritten and forgettable.
I would agree that it's quite forgettable, but I didn't actually think it was overwritten. I thought it was quite simplistic in its
It's very short.
Style.
Yeah, it's very short.
Mm.
We'll head to Ellen. Hello, Ellen. I also listened to this one. I agree with Jem. Not a fave or mind blowing, but I liked it. I'm glad I read it. The setting was the best bit for me. Yeah. Yeah. I could see that.
I was tempted to audio this one because it is in the Libby catalogue.
Yeah.
But I still haven't really got time to do it. So
it's just very, very, very okay. And I think that okayness, like Jem said, probably on another day, I might have thought this was brilliant, but that okayness was driving me crazy because I think I'd read quite a few kind of meh books around it. And when you've read so many meh books, you just want something good. You just want to shake. You want to have that 5-star feeling. And I didn't have that 5-star state. I should have DNF'd it. This is what I should have done.
It's not a book I would say, Alice, I really think you should read it. So
I think after reading that,
a massive list of books I have said that for. So
I'm still working through all of those. So I'll stick with those.
After reading that, I think I was tempted. I think I said to the girls, because we've got a little group chat thing, and then I was saying, I feel like Alice is right about the booker, because I think after reading that, I was like, it almost made me want to quit reading the booker. That's how bad it was.
I framed that quote on my wall.
That Alice is right. Hi, ladies. Oh, hey, Amelia.
Hi, Amelia.
Don't worry, lovely. We've still got a few more books to talk about. I think there's 5 more books to talk about. No, 6 more books to talk about. Fighting words. Yeah. A bit off topic, but halfway through In Memoriam. How did I miss out? I know, it's so good. It's like one of the best books. I love that book.
I think I would have been happier if I'd picked that up than most of the other books.
You need to read it. Have you read it, Jem?
No, I haven't, because I'm reading stupid booker books that are rubbish.
In Memoriam is so much better than all of the ones I've read. That is 100%, because even though I loved House of Doors, it didn't make my favourites of the year, and In Memoriam did. So yeah. I want to find something that's going to be on my favourites of the year, and at the moment there isn't. Well, actually, there is one I'll get to in a minute that might be, because I had some.
What was our favourites? Nightcrawling was one of my favourites from last year. Oh, and Maps
of Our Spectacular Body.
Yeah, I haven't found anything.
It was robbed.
Yeah, it was. I agree. And because this is what Alice was saying. Alice said, which book is going to be the Maps? I think you said, actually, which is one we're going to get to.
Yeah, I've got a feeling for one I think all 3 of us will love, that I think will be the Maps of this year. I think
that is a good segue, because it's the next one we're going to talk about, I'm fairly certain. Do you want to say what it is, because it's the next one on the list?
Is it the next one on the list?
Yes, it is. Do you want to say
Is it All the Little Bird Hearts by Victoria
Lloyd Barlow?
Lloyd Barlow, yeah. Yes.
Do you
she
want to
was
say
on our local news the other night.
Yeah.
She is fairly local. Well, she's from Kent, so I think this one sounds really interesting to me.
Agree.
By far the one I am most tempted by, and like, actually probably the only one I've been like, if that crosses my path, I'm in danger of like slipping up and actually reading the booker.
We should have found it, Jen. We should have found it when we were doing the bookshop crawl and like woofed it.
It would have been so dangerous.
We should
would
have.
But I think my mum has actually ordered this from the library, reserved it. Yeah.
There you go. So you might end up nicking it from her if she likes it. I've started it. I don't know how many chapters in I am actually. I think I've got about 4 hours left. I thought I think, let me have a look on my zigzag. I've got my zigzag on my phone. I will have a look. I think it says I'm 55% of the way in. And I think it's good. I'm liking it. I'm still not sure it's giving me the 5-star feeling that I want. But maybe it's because I'm listening to because I'm trying to wait. If I feel like with a book, if I listen to it like in bigger chunks, in like more closer setting, I feel like it often can push that up. But I've been trying to listen to it when I'm awake, which isn't very often. I feel like maybe that's holding it back. So maybe I just need to binge it this weekend, kind of in one binge the last half and see whether that affects it. But everything I've read, the first chapter was really strong, and I feel like it's kind of a little bit dropped, but I still am liking it. So yeah, this is the first neurodivergent author to my knowledge on the Booker. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments below.
That's cool.
I think you're right.
Which is very interesting because we need more neurodivergent representation.
And the author was very interesting on the news because she apparently left school at 16 with no qualifications at all. And when her children had gone to school, she went back to school and got a master's in like creative writing or literature or something.
Wow.
And wrote this book as part of her,
Amazing.
might have even been a PhD. I don't want to give her some qualification she hasn't got, but either it might have been a master's. She wrote this as part of that and like barely even expected it to get published, and then it's on the Booker.
That makes
such a cool story.
I'm delighted with that.
That's really, really good. I feel like there's so many, especially neurodivergent kids out there, and I feel like stuff like this, when people like that kind of representation, like I said, it really inspires people. And I feel like sometimes, especially, people feel like a little bit. These certain people get told they're stupid or whatever like that, and I just feel like it's like, no, you can do it. This is amazing. Go for it. So anyway, let us know in the comments, have you read all the Little Bird Hearts? Let us know what you think. I've had some nice comments on my videos saying about Little Bird Hearts, so I'm hoping that we'll all three, like you said, Alice, so hopefully the three of us will love it. So
I'm so interested in this one.
Yeah, I'm really hoping. I was kind of hoping it was going to be a favourite of the year. I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. So we've got Amelia said, I haven't read a single book from the long list so far. I have so many books out there for the library that are due soon. Well, let us know what you are reading, lovely. We want to know that as well. So everyone in the comments, tell us what you're reading currently. It doesn't have to be book related. Tell us what you're reading. We want to know because we love getting recommendations, don't we, girls?
We do.
And just to add to distract us more from what we are reading. Are any of you reading WIT books? That's another good thing, actually. We will still keep working our way through the list, but let us know, are any of you reading any WIT book, Women in Translation books? Because I think we'd quite like some recommendations for that too. Amelia also said, I'm most interested in Prophet Song, which I've got some about that. Bird Hearts and Beasting, yeah. So yeah. Next on the list to talk about is actually, nice segue, the one I picked up today, which is Prophet Song by Paul Lynch. This is day pick. Again, this is one on paper that is another, I was saying pointing the wrong way. No. Alice, pointing the right way. Jem, just point up. There you go. Because this is the one when, as soon as the long list was announced, I think I messaged Alice and I was like, Alice, this is the most due book out of the list, I think. So what do you guys have any thoughts about this book?
For some reason, it didn't really register with me that this was a me book at all from the blurb. I didn't even realise it was dystopian. So I don't know how that happened, but the more I've heard from people's videos, the more interested I am in this one.
Yeah.
Particularly, I think Jen Campbell, was this her favourite? She really loved it.
Yeah, she loved it.
It was, yeah.
And my mum has got this one out of the library. She is really not helping the Book of FOMO, my mum. She has jumped on the bandwagon here.
God, Jane!
Me No, you can be strong. You don't have to read those prizes. They're rubbish. She has got this out of the
We
library.
love Jane. Go, yeah. I'm with Jem. Yay! Jem's holding our. Jane is holding our corner, trying to get Alice to read the books.
Yeah, I think she's been heavily influenced by Jen Campbell, so she has got this out of the library as we speak. But I think she only got it today, so not actually read it yet. But
So-
I'm intrigued, and Ange bought it on our trip to London.
She did.
So
I was
that
so
has me
jealous.
more intrigued.
As soon as I saw that Ange had picked it up, I was instantly jealous. But I still I still wasn't quite sure because I had seen Jen's video at that point as well. But the thing that made actually, Jen, you say before I go on talking.
Yeah, no, I would say I am interested in it. I feel like it's one of those ones that's flown under the radar because it was not released at the time that the long list was announced. So I kind of just parked it in like another section of my brain, and I feel like those brain cells have now died. So I just like
I think maybe that's what I did. I think I was like, not out yet, dismiss.
Yeah. So as people talk about it more, I think I'll get either more or less hyped depending on popular opinion.
Yeah. So me and Charlie, again, we did the first line battle thing. The first line of this is amazing. Watch tomorrow's video to find out what it is if you want to look it up in the thing. Should I just look it? Should I just read it to you now? Should I? The first line. I thought it was really strong. You might actually all hate it.
Give us a taster.
Give us a taster. It says, I'm not very good at reading stuff like this. It's like being at school again. The night has come and she has not heard the knocking, standing at the window, looking out onto the garden. And I don't know, like, maybe you guys are eye rolly, but it was something about this. I was like, oh my gosh, this sounds so good. And compared to other lines that we were reading, I was just like, I really, really, really want to try this. And I've read the first chapter just today, and it is amazing. Everything I've read so far, I'm literally like, this shouldn't be a Charlie book again. It's kind of dystopic police state kind of. I say dystopic because it's probably not that dystopic, is it really? Let's be honest. Sort of, it kind of gives me, maybe this isn't correct, 1984 vibes because of like the government controlling things. There is also mention of a virus. It mentions literally within, again, the first chapter, so I'm not spoiling anything. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. But yeah, it's something about the writing. It's really well. The characters are really good. I feel like it's the kind of book that made me want to hold my breath the whole chapter. It's that kind of sort of tension. So I'm just like, something about this. I really think this could be a favorite of the year. Even like this could be like, even though it's only one chapter in, I'm just like, calling it. This could be my favorite from the list anyway. So.
I have to say, I think the judges have brought their A game on covers. There are some gorgeous covers in this.
I love this
competition.
Agree.
So let us know in the comments what you guys are reading. I'm going to head to the comments and see whether have any of you guys read Prophet Song? Obviously, it's only not that long release, but I think it was a few weeks ago. Ange got hold of it. So,
yeah, nearly 2 weeks ago now.
Yeah, so it's been out in the world a little bit longer than I think. I thought so. We've got the lovely Eric. Hi, Eric.
Oh, Eric.
We love Eric. I'm really looking forward to reading all the Little Bird Hearts, and I'm reading Prophet Song now. What are you thinking of Prophet Song? If you got a first impression of it, let us know in the comments below. Eric, give everyone an exclusive. Yeah. It's really good. You said it's really good. I'm really good at reading. It's not, yeah.
Says the lady with the booktube channel.
Under pressure, shut up. I feel like I'm getting hot as well. I feel like I'm back to like May time when it was like kind of but we've got Belle's books. Hi ladies. It's actually
Hi Carly.
Carly, that's it. Carly. Oh my brain told you. Carly, I knew Belle wasn't your name. Carly from Belle's Books. Hi ladies, I'm waiting for all the Little Bird Hearts to come into the library. Very excited about that one. I'm struggling through the audiobook of In Ascension. Yeah, DNF it, darling. Seriously.
Yeah, we haven't talked about that one yet, have we?
But sorry, Eric. I know you guys. Eric loves them In Ascension, but if you're struggling with it now, I feel like depending on how far you are in, you might be worth. Yeah. But I do think in it we're going to get to an Ascension actually in a minute, so we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, Prophet Song has a cool cover and end papers. Yes, I'll show you guys the end papers. Shall I show you the end papers?
Give us an end papers preview.
Very striking.
Oh, that is cool.
That's the back of the cover. Back cover. But yeah, I agree with you. The covers. I love the good orange end papers. Yes, here we go. Sarah again, currently reading Alice Wynne, also The Curfew. Was that the one that Jen talked about in one of her videos? She talked about reading.
Yeah, I think my mum read that the other day.
Yeah, I saw that on Jen's thing and was like, oh, that sounds like
she does make everyone want to
I
know.
don't really read thrillers, but I was like, oh, if Jen recommends.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. For a wit buddy read, the Memory Police, I hated it. Oh no, I love that.
Yoko Agawa.
I love the Memory Police. Fair enough, though. Not every book is for every reader. Yeah. Yep, Jen's fault. I'm really interested in the Bird Hearts, but it's not out in the States yet. Oh, I'm so sorry, Anne. It's horrible.
Actually, I think there's quite a few that weren't out or weren't available in the States, particularly at the time that the long list was announced. So
it's House of Doors is still a wait for them as well, isn't it?
Is it?
And I can't think of which other
I
ones.
think there was a few. I can't remember which ones.
I wonder how many from the long list are out. That's probably easier to count actually. For let us know in the comments below. So before we get on to the next book, read through. Also added Prophet Song to my library reserves after Jen. Yeah, currently reading the Nankano Thrift Shop.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I think that's the one I've read. I'm fairly certain because I've read a couple of Hiromi. I think that's the one I've read. I think
I've got Strange Weather in Tokyo on my shelf somewhere, but I haven't read it.
I think it's the Nankano Thrift Shop I read, and I did enjoy it. So yeah. I'll be starting The Beast in This Evening as chosen by Charlie.
Nice.
Because he deserves one he is enjoying. That's why. Because Charlie's had a bit of a rough time as well with the booker so far. So I mean, as some of us have, this is what happens with books. So glad you're into it, Charlie. It's definitely Orwellian. Yeah, exactly. 100%. That's what the first chapter, especially, I was just like, this really gives me that feel tense. And the more reading it, the more into it, the more, yeah.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
It's just the tension. I feel like he's written the tension really well. And I feel like that's not always easy in books to, it doesn't always translate very well in books. But yeah, I definitely think that. Do you think a different set of judges would? Yes, 100%. That would have.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have Maps of Spectacular Bodies out of the library. Yes, you read it.
It's so good. It's so good. In a heart-crushing way.
Yeah. Will completely destroy your heart.
I loved it so much. We the three of us loved it. That was like a collective.
It was on my top books of last year.
Me too.
Yeah, mine.
Three of us. That rarely ever happens that the three of us agree on a book, does it? Like,
I know, not to that level, like top 10 standard.
Yeah. So, next book on the list we're going to talk about is one that, if Eric is still here, I think it's one of Eric's favourite. I think it is Eric's favourite from the list, which is In Ascension by Martin McInnes. So you guys let us know what your thoughts are. Have any of you read it in the comments? And Jem, I know you've been reading that, so you can tell us your thoughts, your initial impressions. It's literally
waiting for initial impression. I'm really sorry, Eric. I kind of wish we'd done this book first so you weren't here to witness this.
Sorry.
But I thought it was really dull. I listened to about an hour-ish of it, like the first 2 chapters, and I just didn't care about anything that was going on. I thought it was good. I think part of the problem was I went into it thinking, oh, this is sci-fi, and I really love sci-fi, and then it was just like not sci-fi. I mean, it probably gets to that later, right? But I just, like, my expectations versus the reality were just so misaligned. And it was not my kind of writing style either. It was like, what I would say is very literary. So I like a little bit of literary, but like my brain capacity doesn't go to like Eric Carl Anderson levels. I need stuff like down a level from that. So I just jacked it in after like an hour, and I picked up Summer Water by Sarah Moss, and I loved it. And I was like, this is so much better.
Also, it's very fitting, isn't it? Summer Water. We're in summer, even though it doesn't necessarily. It's kind of a rainy summer, which actually it has been a little bit of a rainy summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm pleased with my decision because I was just not into it at all. So
Alice, have you got any impressions of this book?
I think it's funny that Jem was trying to pressure me into reading this. Like, yeah, it's a you book. Read it, read it, read it, read it, read it, read it, read it. But I just don't have any interest in this one, I don't think. Yeah. It sounds hard to read. It sounds like not really my type of thing, and it seems quite long. You know, I'm not a fan of a long book.
Yeah. So yeah, for me, I really think with this. So this, I feel like for me, it wasn't a me book. Let's just say that straight away. But I can see the skill in the author's writing. There were parts of it I really enjoyed, but there was also parts of it I felt like some of the sciencey bits I kind of like felt like I was dozing off a little bit, and it felt like a little bit of an info dump in places. And so therefore, I think if I listened to the audiobook, I did not DNF it, and it's not a short book, as you guys know. So therefore, it has to have something in for me for that. But yeah, it just wasn't a me book. So yes, no, I didn't like it. Did I like it? No, I can appreciate it. I can appreciate it for what it is. And I did like some of the literary bits, and I love the fact that about the family bit I really like. There's a bit, I think it comes a little bit further in. The family stuff I really thought was good, and I did think it was doing some clever things, talking about like the small things in life, like in terms of literally microorganisms and like families, and then also talking about creation of life and space. And so yeah, I think this is going to have a really far-reaching audience, and but yeah, just not for me. So sorry.
I think you can appreciate what a book is doing or admire what a book is doing without actually loving it yourself.
Yeah, this is one I do appreciate. I can appreciate the talent of the author, but it's a chemistry thing. In fact, of it's me, not the book.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to the comments. There we go. What did we say that? I'm currently reading. Oh, well, thanks for telling us, Guy. Hi, Guy. Currently reading. I Want to Die, but Want to Eat Tteokbokki by Bae Si Hee. Is that correct? Someone tell me if I'm pronouncing it incorrectly. Thank you for telling us that. I'm reading The Chosen Ones by Steve Sandberg and Stillborn by Guadalupe Natel.
Oh, I really want to get to that. Stillborn.
Yeah, that was Booker International this year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very heavy stuff, but to balance it out, I'm also reading Alien Visitors for Carl Rogers.
I love that.
Good mixture.
Don't worry, Charlie. I often don't like hosing live on them, so it's tricky to try and read the comments. Yeah. When you're scrolling and you're trying to keep where your places out at the side, it's but that's yeah. And I'm out of practice. We were doing this twice a week at one point.
Okay.
I feel like the three of us are feeling a little bit. I'm feeling a little bit rusty. I'm always feeling rusty. Hello. We've got Anne said, House of Doors not out here yet, and that's like that's my favorite so far. Having completed it, my completed favorite. Spoilers. It's probably not a surprise to anyone that watches my channel. Strange Weather in Tokyo is good. Yep, heard about the curfew from Jen. Don't read much crime either. Everyone loves Jen. We don't love Jen.
Everyone loves Jen.
Despite knowing how Charlie and Jen feel about this book, I'm looking forward to Inner Sension. Yes, you might like it, Charlie. I hope you
actually. That probably bodes well if we didn't like it, Charlie, for you.
I feel like this could be one that Charlie likes. So
I do love the next comment.
Now, I've got some things to say about the next comment. Eric, if you're still here, did you hear about what happened in London about pizza? Did you hear, Eric, did you hear Jen put lime on her pizza? I was in London with her eating pizza recently, and she put lime on her pizza. There was uproar. You have to tell us.
It's not a sodden fig, though, is it?
It's still fruit and pizza.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
It's fruit on pizza.
Citrus is not the same as fruit.
Exactly.
Then put fruit on pizza, and she's telling you guys not to put fruit on pizza. So
it's a seasoning.
It's a scandal. The plotters are just up in arms. You know.
And I have to say, I still do want to try figs on pizza.
Yes, yeah, me too. And with the goat's cheese though, I'd have it with the goat's cheese.
Yeah.
I felt this, I was the only person not enjoying In Ascension. I feel the same way as you, Jem. I do like very literary books, but I just can't get into it. So I think I might have to do it. Honestly, save yourself it, Carly. Just DNF it. I like the parts about family, but it's a bit too science and heavy.
Yeah.
Pizzagate!
Oh, the pizza debate has just run and run throughout the Plodalong.
I feel like this is going to be us for like the next 10 years now.
I feel like next year I'm going to be thinking of some sort of some sort of
what impact have you had on BookTube in your time on BookTube? Well, I got everyone talking about pizza.
Yeah.
We're going to have to think, if any of you guys have got any suggestions for things for next year, you can say in the let us know, message us, or say in the comments for like challenges for next year, how to challenge our guests. Let us know any guests that you want to come back next year. We always want to hear all that as well. So yeah, we're always open to suggestions, aren't we?
We are.
The next book on the list to talk about is Western Lane by Chetna Maru. Has anyone
read this one yet? And I was less interested in it when it was released, but since seeing reviews, I'm more interested because it sounds quite sad.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. I haven't read it, obviously. Alice, do you want to say? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I was just going to say, have you read it, Charlie?
No, I haven't read this one, but Charlie has read it. This is another one Charlie has read. I'm sure Charlie's going to tell us. You can say in the comments, Charlie. I don't want to try and take your thunder away. Charlie has read it and did not like it. Again, I don't always agree with Charlie. We don't always agree, but it does make me a little bit unsure. That being said, I probably will be the next audiobook I get to, just because once I finished all the Little Bird Hearts, it's only 4 hours. So
I was going to say, that being said, it's very, very short, is it not?
Yeah. So it's I think it's worth a try if you can get hold of it, maybe from your library or I'm
not sure that I'm feeling it being a book about squash.
That was what put me off, but then everyone's been like, yeah, but it's not.
It's about grief. That's what. Yeah, it's about grief. Someone said it's about grief.
I think there is a lot of squash in it.
Yeah, but it can't be as bad as Carrie Soto.
Carrie Soto plays endless tennis.
Yeah, and she hit the ball again. Oh, guess what? She hit the ball again. Sorry, apologies to anyone who enjoyed Carrie Soto's back.
That would be a massive yawn for me. That is why I'm not picking that up. No way, no how. You have to pay.
I mean, I actually thought it turned out all right in Carrie Soto, but you had to read an awful lot of descriptions of tennis matches to get to it turned out all right.
Has anyone it does characters from other books, because one of the things people say about her writing is that characters from other books appear, and I think particularly is it in this one, does it appear? I don't know.
I think Carrie Soto, apparently, because I've only actually read Carrie Soto and Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Yeah.
Apparently Carrie Soto first appeared in Malibu Rising.
There you go.
As like a character in the background, but I can't confirm that because I haven't read Malibu Rising.
I thought that was the case, something like that. So none of us have really got any strong thoughts about it, other than just that we're sort of feeling middling about it from first impressions.
It's one of those ones that if I saw it in the library in the right mood, I possibly might pick it up just because it's so short, just to see what I think. But I mean, I'm not rushing out to get it or anything.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. It is on. I have purchased this on. I don't know why I'm showing you my phone, but it's on. I purchased it on Zigzag. So yeah. Right, we head on to the 2 more books left on this book to talk about before we can just go into general chit chat after that. The Bee Sting by Paul Murray, which I've got beside me because I brought it out of the library.
Massive.
And again, I think I'm going to audiobook this and read it physically. So, but yeah. Anyone got impressions?
I am low level interested in it. My concern is that it's a book and it's 600 odd pages. So, given my vibe on the book along list so far, I'm not willing to invest 600 pages in a book that's been longlisted. So
the audiobook's 26 hours long, I think.
Yeah, which is fine. I'm not worried about a big book, but just it's because it's Booker.
Yeah.
Once I've read a few that I like, I might have more faith.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
My
I don't
concern
know.
is it's massive.
It's a family story though, which is something that I think the three of us kind of like. So potentially, and also again, this is one I think Jen said she switched. She liked the audiobook of it, wasn't it? I'm sure that's one she said that she read and so
I think she was listening to it on audiobook, if I remember
physical
rightly,
at the end.
and read physical at the end and realised it had no punctuation in one of the people's narratives,
and it drove her crazy after that.
which she hadn't realised on audio.
Yeah, I think it drove her crazy after. But yeah, do you know what? I'm excited for it. It's a family story. The first line again was quite a good first line. I think it was something about killing families or something like that.
The only other thing
that's a good line, but
the only other thing that perturbs me slightly about the bee sting is that I've heard that it's like got a lot of humour, and I think humour can go either way with me. Like if you connect to the humour, you'll probably love the book.
Yeah.
But if it's got like a comedy vibe that you don't actually vibe with, then you're gonna struggle, aren't you?
Yeah, especially for 600 pages, that's a lot of humour.
I think comedy is so hard to get right in a book.
Yeah, I feel like I'm intrigued by this one. So yeah,
if it wasn't so big, I'd probably give it a go.
Yeah, this is going to be one of the ones that obviously I've got, and it's also got a reserve at the library. So even though I'm going to, because anyway, I'm excited to read it. We shall see. I'll be open-minded, as I will be with all of these. Has anyone else in the comments read The Bee Sting? Let us know. I know Amelia Barlow Books loved it, and so I'm hoping that I will love it too. Amelia Barlow Books Amelia's always got good taste. So yeah. Shall we go into the comments? I was thinking about where we go. Have we already done this one? Tell me. Have I got to go up?
I think we just did Pizzagate.
What did we do?
Yeah, we were at Charlie Brooke being BookTube's own Jeremy Paxman.
Oh, I definitely didn't see that one. Otherwise, I would have laughed my head off. Charlie Brooke with this lime on pizza thing. Yeah. Is there a pod on the list? Oh, so I think. Well, no, but none of you are going to agree because for me, Pearl is a pod. I don't know. Let me think. I don't know. Actually, I don't honestly know because it's one that's sort of more. What is one that divides people? So,
and also a lot of people DNF'd pod after like 20 pages, and there doesn't sound like so far there's a DNF after 20 pages.
Yeah, it really caused a visceral reaction in people, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there is a pod on this list.
Maybe Study for Obedience is going to be that one, actually, I would say.
Yeah.
Throw that into the ring.
But do you know what? I don't think that there is anything else that is like pod.
No. No, I agree with you in terms of the context of it, but in terms of like the divisiveness, that's the word. And the fact that Eric didn't like it, Eric hardly ever really strongly dislikes books. So yeah, so maybe that will be the one.
I think that's the closest, but I still don't think it's quite as. I don't think it's caused as much dislike as Pod.
Yeah, because there's a couple.
Yet, but it's still early days, so
I loved it. So I read Western Lane in 90 minutes yesterday. My issue is that they talked about squash too much. Actually, I was thinking about curry soto the entire time. Because of the constant squash, yes, you can see the reason they're playing is so much due to grief from their father and his reasons, but it also has a very disappointing end. Also sounds like the descriptions of rowing in lessons in chemistry. Really, I didn't realise that had any rowing in it.
No, I didn't.
I haven't read that one yet. It's still on my shelf.
Yeah, there you go. Joanna says, I didn't mind the squash because it's not very much about the sport itself. It's more of the metaphor. But it talks a lot about it, but always in the light of the grief, in the light of the grief and family. See, that stuff that Jem and I say you like that, don't you? Grief and those are buzzwords. Grief and family are buzzwords for us, the three of us actually, I would say. So
yeah, but squash isn't. So we'll see.
yeah, and Ellen. Oh my. So we haven't read this.
No, now I feel like I need to read it just for the rowing.
That's actually, I was going to say that's made me want to read it. And then we've got Carly laughing at the rowing. So yeah,
I now have the impression that rowing is to lessons in chemistry as tennis is to curry soto, and squash is to Western Lane.
This is exactly the
Apparently.
analogy. The last book we're going to finish on is my favourite. I'm going to just say that from the off even. I can't speak, like I said. Is The House of Doors by Tan Tuan Eng. You guys tell us your thoughts. Have any of you read it in the comments? And which one of you wants to start, Jem or Alice?
Well, Jem's doing a face, so I think Jem
We'll go
should
to
start.
Jem then.
I didn't think it was that good.
Yeah.
You've broken my heart.
Sorry. Okay, so let me
just get my popcorn.
I'm literally gonna start crying now. So
right, so this was one of the ones I had an issue with the narrator, the female narrator in particular. So the audiobook of this, well, the book itself is in two perspectives. So there's a male and a female perspective. The female narrator, it starts in South Africa, and she tries to do a South African accent, and it is the worst South African accent I have ever heard. And I don't know whether it just like gets to me more because I literally work with a South African, so I hear that accent every single day. So like the fact that it was so bad like really stood out to me. And I was like, mate, don't even try. What? And yeah, I just really didn't like that. And then both main characters, were really unlikable, selfish.
I agree with that. They are unlikable and selfish. I 100% agree with that.
And I think it's just one of those things that I'm learning about my reading as we go along. Unlikable characters, I don't know if I like them.
Honestly, I'm the same with that. For the most part, I'm the same. There are exceptions, obviously House of Doors being one, and actually, like I said, the bird book thing.
Yeah.
I
just feel like they have to have a redeemable quality. You have to have something that you can connect with them on. And the woman in particular, I just found completely insufferable. She was just a horrible human.
I can see that she would grate on you, but I was so lost in the. I think I was so lost in the story and kind of lost in what was going on, and that I just enjoyed it. But again, it didn't. Sorry, go on.
Sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say to Jem, do you think the character problem was massively exacerbated by the audiobook?
Yeah.
Because sometimes an audiobook can make or break a book, can't it? Like a narrator.
Yeah.
Even if it's just one of the narrators, can absolutely ruin a book for you completely.
I think that's what grated me by the end of Pearl, to be honest. I think that's what kicked it from being sort of like a book that if I would have read on paper I would have been like, yeah, this is all right, to books being like, no, stop it. Just stop.
But I had to go out and get a paper copy of the Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois because I just couldn't get on with just one of the narrators. Like the others
I remember that was she had a very childlike.
It was not even that she sounded like a child. It was like Jem's saying, she shouldn't have attempted to do a childish voice. So as the character grew up, it was fine because she stopped doing the childish voice. But the childish voice was just so pathetic that I couldn't get past it. I was like, I'm going to have to go and get a physical book of this because I cannot. I'm not going to like a book that is perfectly well likable just because this woman has done a babyish voice.
Yeah.
And not all of us can do that, can they? Not all of us can go out and get 2 copies of it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so that can completely destroy a book if you.
And if I hadn't been reading it for a project, I might have just DNF'd the audio and got on with it.
Yeah.
And that would have been a shame because that is a good book.
No, that's an amazing book. I've still got it on my shelf. I can literally spot it across. I love the Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois. And she was a poet. So again, this is another one of those examples of a poet being an author. And I thought I cannot wait for her next book. I don't know how quickly she'll get one released, but
I also found the subplots.
Yes.
So the story within the story. I'm not going to spoil anything, but about her friend.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
I thought the ending was weak.
Anticlimactic. You thought it was anticlimactic.
Yeah, and unrealistic. And I don't know, maybe that was what actually happened. But
I think it was what happened. It's based on the real story, so it's based on true life. I think
Yeah.
that's actually
This
it's
is
based on.
with the author.
Yeah, but
without
how
spoiling.
based? How based?
I'm fairly certain that that thing that you're talking about, that whole thing happened, and I think the outcome was. I'm fairly certain. Correct me if I'm wrong. If anyone knows, if you're watching,
But the reason for it, is that the reason?
I don't know about the reason.
I'll have to talk to you about it.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, and
But
one of
yeah,
the
it
things.
really annoyed me.
But I loved how it meant how they incorporated Somerset Maugham into it. I thought that was so clever. And then like so it's sort of like I like the levels of like storytelling, that stories within stories, and like and then also because like obviously it mentions the Casuarina tree, which again is a book that's actually he's written. I really want to go and read that because Roz read it and loved it. Loved it. It's like a short story, I think. So yeah, I really enjoyed it. That being said, so even though right again. This is what I'm going to say. Even though The House of Doors is my favourite currently out of the books I've read, it didn't make my favourite books of the year so far, and I had read it by that point. So yes, I liked it. It's sort of 4-star territory, but it wasn't. It's not. I don't. So, but I still think it could win the Booker. I want it to. Obviously, I'm going to root for it because. But I don't know how I feel at the moment. At the moment, obviously, I've got more books to read. So, have any of you guys read it? Let me see your comments. Let me see. We've got one from Carly. I have actually bought House of Doors because I really liked the sound of the premise. Haven't started it though. Glad I didn't choose the audiobook.
Good choice. Good choice.
Love Songs is a favourite of the year. I read it. Yes, that was such an amazing book. I think it was one of my favourites that year as well, actually. I thought it should have been. Yeah, why didn't it get women listed? It didn't even get Booker listed. None of it. Like it didn't get any prize attention, did it? To my knowledge.
Outrageous. I haven't read it yet.
I do think it should have been a little bit shorter.
I mean, maybe.
But you know that I always say that about massive chunkers.
You do say that a lot.
Like, I mean, I just think most long books could lose 100 pages and be none the worse.
That's fair. We can see Ben's appeared. Ben, tell us what your favourites. How many Booker books have you read so far? Tell us your favourites. So we basically gone through the entire list. We have come to an end of that, but you can still tell us your thoughts on any of the books that you've read. Give us some spoilers for your videos. Everyone wants to know. You heard it here first. So yes. Looking forward to The House of Doors, the only one that has that a friend has recommended. I think it's a really good book, and I think it's made me want to go back and read all of Tan Twanning's book. He's only got 2 more other books, but still, I want to read his other books. So I like his writing style. I'm intrigued. I think it's safe to say that Jem probably doesn't feel that way.
I do have.
Is that me or is it Jem?
I think
Jem,
Jem is frozen.
You're frozen.
The Garden of Eden.
Oh, you've got the Garden of Eden. You're back.
You're back.
I'm back. So, but I haven't read it yet. But after that, it'll probably take me about 10 years now to actually.
Garden of Eden Mists. Evening Mists.
Yeah.
I saw that in a charity shop years ago. I actually feel like I hauled it and unhauled it because I didn't get to it.
Ooh.
So it had been lingering on my shelves, and I think So I'm annoyed with myself.
I think what I would like to know from everybody, including you two, is like, what is your Booker plan? Because Charlie, you seem to be taking it sensibly and pacing yourself this year. But plans going forward for people in the comments as well, like, are you reading any? Do you want to read any? Have you do you plan to read the whole lot or none? Let us know.
That's a really good question, because I feel like, and I don't know if that's the same for you, Jem. Obviously, you've got other books on the go as well. Last week, I was like, I think I was chatting to Charlotte Malloy, if you're still watching. Hey, Charlotte. And I was like, I think she said, "Oh, have you read any WIT books yet? And women in translation books?" Forget the lingo, sorry, people. I was like, "Oh no, I haven't." But I was thinking, "Oh, but no, I can't read them yet because I'm still trying to work through the book." And actually, when she said that, I was like, I stopped for a moment, and I was like, "Do you know what? I've got 2 books on my shelves I'm excited for. I'll grab them off, actually. Is that right? Yeah. And that one, and there we go. That one I picked up for thing. And I thought, do you know what? I'm not going to read my Booker books this weekend. I'm going to read my WIT books. And I did. I read these 2. So yeah. I think you're right.
You did initially say you wanted to mix in other stuff, not get too caught up in the hype.
Yeah, it's really hard because I feel like with the Booker, and as with any prize long list, I don't know how you guys feel that are watching it. Once you start reading them and you've got a few under your belt, you're like, oh, it kind of builds your excitement for it in a way. but depending on if you've had success with it, like what I think Jem has struggled with. So yeah.
I feel like it feels time restricted. It's like I have to read these books by the time shortlist comes out or the winner comes out. When in reality you don't. You can read them next year or in 10 years' time.
Yeah. 100%.
But I think you get like, I think especially as a content creator, you're like, oh, if I finish all of these, I can do a video on this.
Yeah.
And I think that plays into it a little bit as well. But I just don't care enough about the book to read all 13, I don't think.
And I think there is a long period this time, isn't there? There is till like, when's the winner? November?
Yeah, November 29th, I think.
So that's quite a lot of months to read these. So there's no reason to...
Yeah, the shortlist is the 21st of September. So I think it's all a bit delayed this year. It's everything's, I think normally it's the beginning of September, I believe. Ben, if you could tell us in the comments if you know what was last year's shortlist announcement date. I can't remember, but yeah. I think it was earlier than what it is this year. So I'm going to head to the comments and see what you guys are saying about how you're getting on with the, like Alice said, answering Alice's question. I will see. Here we go.
Because I have to live vicariously through everyone else. Because I'm not.
I love that. I love that too. And I think you're so sensible holding back. You know what? Next year it might be me. It won't be. Let's be honest. But we'll see.
And also, just to be clear, I'm not saying that I have an issue with the book prize, other than I have not had a massive amount of success in like really getting those 5-star books from Booker Books.
Yeah.
And I would say more Booker books have made me feel stupid than have made me feel really good and that I love, with Maps being like an exception last year. And last year I did get really, really caught up, and I think I probably did read most of, I'm not going to say I read most of the long list because that would be a lie, but I definitely read most of the short list, if not maybe. I can't remember because I can't remember what was on it.
You read them. No, you read I think both of you did, didn't you? And so
I know I read the 2 short ones, and they both got onto the short list.
Yeah.
And I read the Trees, and I read the winner, Maps, and I read that terrible one I really didn't like.
You didn't
Case study. I read case study.
Case study. I DNF case study. That was one of the DNFs I had last year.
I read it and I was like, I don't understand the ending of this book. And then I checked with somebody else who'd read it, and they were like, no, that is the ending of the book. And I was like, so I do get it, but I just don't like it.
Yeah.
But
I didn't like
the majority of Booker books make me kind of feel slightly that way. Like, have I missed something? Is there something in this book that I
feel like that's because I don't feel like any books should make you feel stupid or any prize should make you feel stupid. I don't. For me, like, I don't feel like I'm the cleverest reader, and I don't feel like, so I always think do you know what, I'm going to read it anyway, despite that. But so that doesn't ever normally put me off. But there are some books that
I do get excited by lists of things coming out. Any kind of list of things coming out is always exciting. There's been so much exciting content, so I am definitely living vicariously through watching everybody's reviews and stuff.
Exciting.
And it's still fun, isn't it? Like I will pick up all the little bird hearts when it crosses my path. But I'm not absolutely desperate to go out and buy any of the rest of the books.
That's fair enough. That's very restrained of you. And we had a long chug with the Women's Prize this year, and you read every single one, unlike me and Jem. So you actually completed every single one. So here we go.
Not to do that again.
Fair enough. I definitely think you should always have the ability to DNF any prize you read or any book you read. I definitely think the ability to DNF.
I just got too competitive with myself.
You definitely did. Trespassers, you definitely should have DNF'd, and I love that book.
What should I have DNF'd?
Trespassers.
I'm glad I read it, but I'm not allowed to talk about it because it's on my BookTube prize reading.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Anne said, after having read this other Eden, I'm reading his other 2 books. Oh, that's interesting. That's good to hear that. Ben says, I'm so behind, don't worry. Read 4 so far. Fave is If I Survive You. Oh, that's interesting.
Loads.
So, sorry? Yeah, 4 is loads, yeah. I've only read 6, and I literally just read, it was this one I just finished today. It's like very, very short though. So yeah, If I Survive You, Least Favors, Oh God's Time. I like that one.
I DNF that, so that makes me feel a lot better. When people say they didn't like it, I feel like I was justified in my decision.
Yeah, currently reading The Bird Hearts. What you think? Let us know what you're thinking of it, and listening to Beast. Are you enjoying both so far? Again, I should need to finish the comment before it. I think I should have learned that from Eric's comment. Totally agree with Alice that most of the chunksters would be better if they were shorter.
Thank you, Amelia.
No, we like big books. Me and Jem love big books.
We do.
Yeah, I don't mind a big book, but people could think about how to make them a tiny bit smaller.
maybe the version you get is a tiny bit smaller, Alice. Have you thought about that?
Well, yeah, I get that, but then you think, well, what waffle must they have got rid of? Because there's still a load of waffle in this.
Yeah, you're still hoping to read all 13. Are there any that you think that you could DNF though? What's the one that if you could? Obviously, you haven't apart from the 4 you've read. Which is the one that you're kind of predicting that you'll DNF? Let us know that.
I don't think Ben really DNFs.
I was going to say, does Ben DNF? Because I've not heard of him
Not very
DNFing.
often.
Well, I want to know. I think, maybe this will be the list that does it.
I think Ben's going to determinedly read all 13.
We'll see. Watch this space. Have you read an Ascension?
Enjoy.
We've got some thoughts about that one. Feeling a bit stressed as lots of library reservations have come in. Oh, that's hard when that happens. Shorty September's about to start. That's exciting. So Booker will take a bit of a backseat. Yeah, quite right.
Yeah.
Going to read If I Survive You next. Oh, that's good. I hope you love it. P.S. How did Jen read the whole? I do not know.
I
Agree.
know.
She is a machine.
She is magical.
Yeah. Superpower reading. That's definitely Jen's superpower. Basically only reading. Yeah, that's understandable.
This is a good strategy, yeah.
That is a good strategy.
I think that's what my mum's done, actually, is reserve all the ones that Jen liked.
Yeah. Yeah, I did pick this up after, obviously, but yeah, so I have got excitement for it. So yeah. There we go. Amelia said, same, definitely prioritize Shorty September. Do you know what? I wasn't going to do Shorty September, but I keep hearing everyone talking about it.
I'm very hyped for it.
You guys are giving
so
me
much fun last year reading
you guys are giving me time. I've even pulled all the back. If you see behind me, I don't know if you can see, there's a whole Alice's little I've got like a pile of short books right behind me, and I was when I was watching Alice's video, I was picking off books off my shelves because you were inspiring me, Alice. So
see, this was my problem. Jem was like, oh, have you got your short books out yet? And I was like, well, now I have to go to my shelves and get my short books out.
It's the two of you, honestly.
Then the pile has been looking at me, telling me to read these books now. Waiting till September has been hard.
And Oliver talked about it as well, didn't he? When we did the bookshop crawl, I think Roz had convinced him to do it as well.
I think he was sort of press ganged into doing it, or convinced into doing it by the book.
He said to me about it on his message, I was messaging him and he was telling me. So I was like, oh, more people just so I'll see. Can't remember the dates from last year, but the winner is like a whole month later. It's weird that the shortlist winner period is that much. Yeah, honestly, I agree.
Yeah.
Feels like long list, shortlist is what needs to be. Yeah. I think that's fair. Maybe the judges want that extra time, like you said. Also want to prioritize wit and brought what you are looking for is at the library as well. Yeah, because so many of us picked it up, didn't we? Carly was at the bookshop crawl with us as well. The lovely Carly. It was so lovely meeting you, Carly. Yeah, I don't know how many people picked it up, but quite a few of us, I think. Jack picked it up, as well as Gareth.
Carly has my respect because she actually went on and walked to Daunt Books after we'd all collapsed in Waterstones. So respect for that, Charlie.
Wow. Yeah. I don't know how your legs coped with it. We just, we ducked out at 5, obviously, as you know. Just got in. Hi, Angela.
Hello.
It's Angela, isn't it? Really don't DNF. Last DNF was Chanterum about 10 years ago.
Which I'm currently reading. So this is how I knew this. I couldn't remember how I knew this, but he was like, that's like the only book I've ever DNF.
I cannot believe this.
10
Honestly,
years ago.
Ben, this is when you properly know you're getting it. Like, seriously, you I feel like when you start DNFing regularly, because Alice was like you, Ben, and then Alice cracked her DNF.
I was the same, yeah.
And then as soon as it's happened, you're able to DNF.
I don't think I DNF'd. I can't really recall DNFing something in the past except for Life of Pi. I vividly remember deciding, no, I am not reading this book.
I have to highlight this comment. Queen of DNF is our lovely Gentle Love Books. We love DNFer. She's encouraged us all to be better DNFers. Jennifer, you need to preach at Ben why he needs to DNF.
I think without Jennifer, I still probably wouldn't be properly DNFing.
But no, honestly,
Jennifer just makes me feel like I can DNF everything. I really. Before I would only DNF books if I really didn't like them, but now I'm like, meh, DNF.
Yeah, me too. I feel like she's encouraged us to be better readers, and we're getting better quality books because of it. So thank you, Jennifer.
Agree.
I was actually surprised. Jennifer and I have had a buddy read lately, and we didn't like the book, and I am very surprised that we didn't DNF it. But I think it was just because we were buddy reading it that it lasted.
Yeah. I have pushed through books because they're buddy reads, but I have also DNF buddy reads before.
I'm the worst buddy reader. So, like, this is what I say to everybody that if anyone wants to be buddy reader, I think I know Gareth's not here because he's doing his little thing with his students, but always the thing. But yeah, I'm meant to be doing a buddy read with Gareth, and yeah, I'm the worst buddy reader. So do not buddy read with me. I did tell him though. I did warn him. So the one I'm least looking forward to is A Spell of Good Things. In Ascension is exactly my kind of book. Well, hopefully you will love it.
I think Ben will really love that, and the one I'm most looking forward to is A Spell of Good Things. So.
Yeah, it is. Have you got a physical copy? So you haven't got it. Do you know what you need to do? Wait for me to read it, and then if I don't like it, we'll just bring it or whatever.
I've got like an ebook copy, so I'm not worried about ebook.
Okay, that's fair enough.
I probably do about 70%, 60% of my reading on ebook.
I loved her first book so much, so I feel like it's got a lot to live up to. Like Stay With Me was like one of my favorite. It's on my favorite shelf. So that has, I haven't read that one yet. That puts a lot of pressure on it, and that's why I feel like I'm putting it off a little bit. I don't think I'll be reading this other reading, Study for Obedience and Spell of Good Things, and maybe I'll Survive You. Read 6 so far. Oh, tell us which 6 you've read and which is your favourite. The lovely Chatty's here.
Hi, Chatty.
We love Chatty. Chatty's another person we met from London. I'm just going to tell about everything. Oh, Gem's frozen again. I'm only reading from the prize list. What one of you can take over reading those? One of you can take over reading the comments because my mouth is going up.
Amelia says, I'm only reading from the prize list what I'm actually interested in, and I don't expect content creators to read the whole list either. I surely can find reviews on every book on different channels. I love this perspective.
That is a very good perspective. Gem, you can read this one.
I really want to read the bead thing. No, I don't know. I kind of do and I kind of don't. I need to wait to see who enjoys it first.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. If there isn't a hurricane in isn't there a hurricane in If I Survive You? Yes, there is. But it's not the main feature of the book, as if you watch Kieran's review, you will see. It's not I say review, but it's a dance video. Too much waffling, yes. Yeah. I don't know if I love books. Haha, I want to just like to finish, even if it's not I'm enjoying. I want to see the full picture of what. Do you know what? That's a fair point.
See, this is part of my opinion on DNFing, is that I kind of always want to get to the end and see if I am justified in disliking the book.
I don't see. For me, I think I'd rather not waste my time. I think this is the argument. There was a comment on Brian's video that because Brian from Bookish, if you're still here, Brian, hi. Made a comment, made a video about DNFing because he doesn't like to DNF generally. But yeah, it's about because I was like, well, I would rather the thought of carrying on reading a book that I hate upsets me more than missing out on what I wouldn't. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I'm coming round to more. There are definitely books that I have in my head. Well, when I'm considering whether to DNF, I think of this book that I pushed myself through when I was still not DNFing. Because I'm just always convinced a book is going to get better, and this book just let me down massively, and I was like, no, some books are genuinely going to be like that, but you have to keep that in your mind.
No, yeah.
But I feel a bit of both, like what Ben says, but also
I do understand that, and
I do, and I have done that. I mean, I finished Pod so that I can have a negative opinion on it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, can you get me some list?
There's just not enough time, like for all the good books.
This is what I'm starting to appreciate.
So I would rather not read a book I'm not enjoying.
Let's see my kitchen. Hello, welcome to my kitchen.
But
like the door of doom, you're going to go like open the door and there's going to be like a trap door and there's going to be monsters coming out. Like,
whoa.
it's like
What I thought was really, really interesting actually was, I think it was on How Do We Rate Our Books tag. Roz was saying that she more often than DNF something, she DNSs it, so she doesn't start the book in the first place.
Oh, that's
and I think I am getting better at doing that, like not getting sucked into reading a book I won't like.
Yeah.
And back to Charlotte Malloy's thing, she reads like the first like 10%, doesn't she, often? And sort of like the sample, read a sample of it before you buy it, like buy it, invest in it, read a sample. I think that's a good shout for it. So Amelia said, also the long list from the German book prize was announced yesterday. So many books and prizes. Yes.
True.
Oh, awesome.
And our lovely DNF influencer, Jennifer.
Yeah.
The queen of the DNFs.
She is the queen. In general, we love her so much. Not just the queen of DNFing, queen of our hearts. Oh, yes. Makes Jem sick now. Being too nice. DNF. Well, I've not heard of this one. Have you heard this one?
Oh, it's Tolkien, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't it?
I literally know nothing.
Jem's the Tolkien expert and she's frozen.
Oh no, Jem, you're frozen. Some of the books I skim readers enjoy being able to fully.
It is Tolkien. It is. It's like the prequel. Yeah. How do you not know that? It's like a classic.
I do know that. I just said that.
I didn't know it.
BookTube.
I have never read any Tolkien. I'm like the only person. I'm going to have to go to BookTube prison. Yeah, BookTube hell. I've never read any Tolkien.
I haven't read them myself, but I've had The Hobbit read to me and like 2/3 of Lord of the Rings.
And you guys know that I've never watched The Lord of the Rings.
How can you have never watched Lord of the Rings?
I never watched them. I encourage you can read this one. Do you want to read this one, Jem? I'm going to drink my water.
So Amelia saying, I encourage everybody to DNF too. Such a relief. Agree. Life's too short and too many other books out there.
True.
One of you wants to read that? You want to read Ben's comment? Alice?
Ben says, I think my deciding what to read next process is so thorough. That's the piss out of it in his wedding speech. I filter out most potential DNFs before I start. Yeah, I think this is what Roz was getting at with the DNS. Like, people are good at knowing not to start a book.
And it was Ben's
I want to know what this process is. I feel like this needs a video. Like,
also, I just want to say it was Ben's anniversary yesterday, so everyone wish Ben a happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
I think that's really cute. I'm just such a romantic. I'm always like, oh. So that always makes me smile. I love seeing when people have anniversaries and things. Oh dear, I've missed the comment now. Bee sting. Sorry, Ben. I'm sweating. I need to open the back door. I'm so It's really hot. I'm really sorry. I'm really gonna die. We're gonna have to wrap this up in about 15 minutes, guys. So we'll come to the end of this. So yeah, Beasting is really not is really, really, really good so far. I'm not big on audiobooks, but it's done so well. Oh, so you're listening to the audiobook.
Okay, nice.
I liked Pearl, I'm guessing, and in Ascension, but haven't found a favourite yet. Just started the Beasting. Sounds like I liked it so far. High hopes for Prophet Song. Yeah, I really, really love the first chapter of Prophet Song, Joanna. Correct. Yeah. Alice, it is Tolkien. I'm so sorry, guys, that I do not know this. Do you want to read the comment, Jem?
So Amelia saying, people are always telling me that if I DNF, I will never find out if it maybe would have got better, but I don't care. A lot less about things. I just will never know.
That's exactly how I feel. Like,
yeah.
I'm definitely in that side of things. That's right, Ben. Even I enjoy a good book rant and to argue my case with evidence, but some books aren't even fun for a rant. Oh,
agree.
I always know that like a book is on its absolute last legs when I start researching like whether I should DNF it by looking at other reviews, like wanting to see a review that says this is amazing in the second half. Yeah, I know it's a bad sign for the book when that starts to happen.
It is.
Have you guys got any more thoughts you want to share? Or should we give this a little bit of a wrap up? I think one of the things we were saying about if any of you guys are interested in is that maybe potentially we haven't got put a date in. We think maybe do a December/Christmassy plod catch up, maybe potentially, if any of you are interested to join us.
Mhm.
So have you got any more thoughts, girls? We'll wrap this one up.
Yeah, no, not really.
What are your girls' plans? So what have you got planned for September? We've obviously got the Aussie readathon, which is
Strayer September.
yeah, which we're excited for, hosted by the lovely Scott from Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. I'm definitely going to be reading that. I've got some books on my shelves.
Yeah,
I'll probably do Shorty September. Now you guys have badgered me into it.
I'm doing Shake-Tember as well. I love a bit of Shake-Tember.
Oh yes. So story for those that don't know, Alice and Charlie already know this story, but I went to put a reserve on Antony and Cleopatra for Shake-Tember, Shakespeare September, and my library did not have one single Shakespeare play. Not one. I had to request them to buy it. Not one. Not even Romeo and Juliet.
Not even Macbeth. Not even Macbeth.
No, none. Zilcho. So there's also Scott-Tember in September by Margaret Pennard about Scottish books. So just everything's going on, ma'am.
My husband is 1/3 Scottish. Is that a thing? Yeah. You're 1/3 Scottish, aren't you, Rich?
Cool.
Not 1/3, 2/3. 2/3. His mum's Scottish, so he's more than half. That's not very good maths. That's good.
That's very bad maths.
His mum's Scottish and his dad's half Scottish, so that makes him.
Wow.
You can do the maths.
3/4.
That's the one. 3/4 Scottish. Thank you very much, Jem. That's
you could have just said part Scottish and then.
He's my. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we like the Scottish. I've got a book of I can't even remember his name over there. You know, the guy that did the I don't know what I'm talking about. We're tired now.
I'm really tired too. It's fine.
It's poetry. He's very, very famous. Do you know what his name is? Robert Burns. That's it, Robert Burns. I've got some Robert Burns poetry over there, so I could just pull that off of Scotty.
Yeah.
What are your guys' plan? Let us know for your reading for September, and then we'll wrap this up shortly. I don't think I can make a video about the process.
The process.
Well, if you do, then you can say you're inspired by us. It's different every time. Also involves some sort of pile, categorization, ranking, reading first.
Except for Ben's Booker process, which, if I'm right judging from his video, was Booker books. I must run out and buy all of the Booker books.
What about a post shortlist announcement plot? I don't know whether you girls will be up for it.
We could do. What is that? Beginning of
It's 21st of September. There'll be announcements, so we can do a reaction if you want.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 things potentially. I think I'm actually in Croatia when the shortlist gets announced. So.
Probably not. Maybe a bit further. Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Maybe like a pre-winner plot.
Yeah, either pre-winner or post-winner.
Let us know.
Would be more likely.
Oh, best book. Oh, that's a good plug, actually. I can just see. I'm going to just jump to Charlie's thing before everyone heads off. Yeah, me and Charlie are going to be hosting I can't believe I forgot that. I was like, I told you.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing that as well.
You are doing that, yeah.
Charlie's got her own read-along.
Yeah, I forgot my own read-along. We're hosting a read-along of of the Secrets of Hartwood Hall in September. So if any of you guys watching want to join us, there'll be go check out in my mine and Charlie's channel. We've got a video with an announcement and also a link to sign up, a Google Doc to sign up. Secrets of Hartwood Hall is currently 99p on Kindle at the moment. So if you do want to read it, it's by Katie, like I said, Katie Lumsden. BookTube's Katie Lumsden. It's 99p. Pick it up, join in, click on the Google Doc.
It's a great book.
Yeah, it's a brilliant book. I loved it, but I'm still going to reread it. That's what I've been trying to do. Well done, Charlie. Sorry.
We might be just in time to have a Harry cameo as well. Come on, Harry.
Oh, yay.
Harry, it's Duck O'Clock.
Oh, best books of the year in December. I think the girls will probably want to do their own videos about that, but we can find out what everyone else's best books are.
We did talk about maybe saying what our favourite prize-nominated book was
that's
the
a
year.
good idea. Yeah.
Or maybe we can have some little categories like worst prize-nominated.
I'm sure we can think of, like, Gemma's great at thinking of things like that, so I'm sure we can, between us all, the three of us.
No pressure, Charlie.
Well, I can't even remember my own read-alongs. There's no thing for me, is there? But I hope there.
True.
No comment on my Booker process. Yes, that you should. Yeah, you can do a video on that as well. We're just going to suggest all the videos to Ben. He's going to have like We were just going to be giving video requests for them. Thank you for this chat. Oh, thank you for joining us, everyone. Always fun to chat and everyone's thoughts, and love an autumn winter plod. Yeah, we definitely want to do some sort of autumn winter plod. Like I'm sure we'll fit one in, but maybe between Christmas, either a Christmas one or an autumn one. Yeah. Really bad at DNFing. Not good at starting books. Won't enjoy. Books I won't enjoy. Thanks to BookTube. Yes to the Christmas with bells on. Oh, bless you, bless you, bless you.
Oh yes, we'll make Charlie wear bells. Good plan.
I like bells actually.
I'm pretty sure that was what she was suggesting.
I'm not. No. 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 But I do like being quite jingly, as you can imagine.
You are quite a jingly person.
Yeah. When I met Bob, I feel like I bounced on him a little bit. I bounced up to Bob when I saw him in person.
Oh, we love Bob.
Very excited about Secret September. Oh yeah, thank you, Kylie, and definitely on board for Shorty September. Thank you for joining us. I think we're going to wrap this up now and say goodbye. Do you reckon? Thank you for everyone for joining us.
Everyone.
Follow the Instagram WP Plodalong, and obviously check out everyone's community tabs. That's where we'll be doing announcements. When we do decide the next one of these, it'll be on one of the other girls' channels. It'll be either on Alice or Jem's channel next. So watch out for that. Thank you guys. You guys are the best. We've missed you.
Thanks everyone.
Take care, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining us. Bye.